So I just realized that I had cookie crumbles all over my mouth recording, so I need to record everything all over again. I did my first ever commission a couple of months ago. It was Azrael from the Dark Angels faction. I had never painted a Space Marine before, so it was a very exciting project. I can happily say painting Space Marines is a lot of fun. So now I'm gonna show you guys how I painted mine and how maybe you can paint yours. I started by priming the model with Chaos Black from Citadel. You can use any black primer really, just go with whatever you're comfortable with. For the base coat, we're starting with dark green from Vallejo. What you want to do is place down where you want your base color and then glaze from black into the dark green. Since we are painting over a black surface, you should paint several layers of the dark green in order to get an even coverage. You want to avoid hitting the deeper shadows with the base layer, as we'll be smoothing out that transition with glazing instead. When glazing, you want to apply thin coats, and after about 3 to 4 layers, you should have a smooth and even surface. Once you're happy with the base, we're going to mix in a bit of lime green to brighten up the mix. Start with a smaller area than before, and again glaze over the transitions so it stays smooth. You want to repeat this step until your mix is almost pure lime green. Next, we're going to add a touch of yellow-green to your mix. From this point onwards, we're going to make a mix of yellow-green and ice yellow. And we're going to be adding more and more ice yellow to the mix. Just keep layering and making it brighter. Stop at any stage where you think it looks good. You don't have to go as bright as I do, I just like shiny things. I wanted to cool down the shadows as well as increasing the contrast, which is why I glazed Prussian blue into the shadows. That step makes a huge difference, especially if you want a clean, high contrast finish. Finally, I glazed the armor with sun yellow to get more vibrancy into the armor. This should be a thin and transparent coat over everything. After this, I did some small highlights with ice yellow, finishing off the green armor. I used the same recipe for all the red parts on the model. I started with a base of evil red. I did about 3 layers to get a good coverage, and I tried not to hit the darkest areas. I started layering using my favorite paint, which is Gory Red. This paint needs several layers in order to get good coverage. This makes it easier to get a smooth transition. Continue layering and glazing until you're happy with your coverage. Then you can use any vibrant red that you own. I'm using red from the Ionics paint line. For the brightest highlights, I mixed in ice yellow into the Gory Red and kept going brighter and brighter till I was using pure ice yellow. At this point, you might see that we've lost a lot of saturation and the color looks more pink than red. To fix this, you can do 1 or 2 glazes of Gory Red. After this, I blacklined using Prussian blue as well as glazing this paint into the shadows. Same as with the green armor, we're going to do a final highlight of ice yellow to get those clean edges. I'm not really happy with my recipe for the khaki color. I think that if I did this again, I would probably spend more time building up the different layers, as well as not starting with that dark of a base color. Anyways, I started with a mix of dark green and caramel brown. I added some dark green, which is a paint we used earlier for the armor, in order to make the model look more harmonized. Just be careful not to make your base color as dark as I did, as it's going to give you trouble blending later on. After a while of layering and glazing, mixing in more of that caramel brown, I added some bright yellow ochre to the mix. Keep layering your way to pure bright yellow ochre before mixing in ice yellow for the final highlights. I didn't write down my recipe for the purple cloth, so here is just some footage of me painting it. We have finally reached the last part of the model, which is the sword. I painted this on stream, so the footage you see is from that. Shout out to my Twitch! It doesn't really matter what paint you use for the sword. If you have a black, dark blue, turquoise and then ice yellow, you should have what you need. I used dark sea blue as my first color and tried to keep parts of the sword black. Then I added phthalo blue to the mix as it created a really nice blue color. I then keep adding turquoise to the mix, building up this color. The slower you mix in the turquoise, the easier of a time you're going to have while smoothing out the transitions on the model. When you've layered your way to pure layer of turquoise, you can start adding ice yellow to the mix. And then keep going till you're using pure ice yellow. With the sword, you can keep going back and forth, glazing in shadows, blending and highlighting. I did a glaze of Prussian blue, which I think added a nice overall color. Okay, so this is how I painted Azrael. There's a lot of people that want Dark Angels as commissions, so now all of you guys know how to do this yourself. You're welcome. And yeah, if you have any more questions, feel free to ask them down below. I'm very happy. This is my first YouTube video. Like and subscribe, and yeah, I hope to see you again.